Hello, my name is Ava. Most people know me now. My face is on the cover of magazines. My company, Aura, is one of the fastest growing tech firms in the world. People see my glass office. They see the $45 million valuation. They see a woman who has everything. They do not see the girl who had nothing. They do not see the girl who was erased by her own family. My family, the Caldwells, were not just a family. They were a performance. My father, Marcus Caldwell, was a man who worshipped at the altar of legacy. He was a partner at a big old law firm. My mother, Eleanor, was a woman who measured her entire life by what the neighbors thought. And my older brother Leo was their golden boy. He was just like my father. He went to the right school, got the right job in finance, and never once stepped out of line. I was the mistake. I was the crack in their perfect polished mirror. I was not like them. I did not care about legacy. I cared about creating. I did not want to join a law firm. I wanted to build software. I wanted to code. When I was a teenager, I spent all my time on our old computer. I was teaching myself programming languages. I was building little worlds. To my father, this was not a skill. It was a waste of time, playing those stupid computer games, he would call it. He could not understand it, so he hated it. He had a plan for me. I would go to his old university. I would become a paralegal, and then a lawyer. I would be another perfect, boring trophy on his shelf. The fight happened 2 weeks after my 17th birthday. I told him I was not applying to law school. I told him I wanted to study computer science. The look on his face, it was not anger. It was disgust. He looked at me like I was something he had stepped in. "No daughter of mine will be a computer nerd," he said. His voice was cold. "You will follow the plan, or you are not part of this family." I was young. I was stupid. And I was strong. I told him no. I told him I would not live his life for him. My mother just stood there, twisting her pearls, her face pale. My brother Leo just smirked. "Let her go, Dad," Leo said. "She will be back in a year, begging for a job." My father pointed to the door. "Then go," he said. "Get out!" I ran to my best friend's house. I was terrified. I was crying. I thought he would cool down. I thought my mother would call me. I thought he would realize he had gone too far. That night I called the house. I just wanted to hear my mom's voice. She did not pick up. My father did. He did not say hello. He just hung up. My phone buzzed a minute later. It was a new voicemail. I pressed play. It was not my father's normal, controlled voice. It was a voice I had never heard before. It was full of ice and hate. The recording was 15 seconds long. "This is your father. Do not call this house again. You have made your choice. You are a profound disappointment and a waste of our resources. You are not my daughter. You are on your own. Do not ever come home." And that was it. He disowned me. Over a voicemail. I was 17 years old. I was homeless. I was, in his eyes, nothing. I did not know it then, but I did something that would change my life. I saved that voicemail. I saved it on my phone. I saved it to my email. I saved it onto a tiny old USB drive. I do not know why. Maybe I was a glutton for punishment, or maybe some deep part of me knew that one day I would need it. The next few years were not just hard. They were a living nightmare. I finished high school while sleeping on my friend's couch. Her family was kind, but I could not stay forever. I got a job, a terrible job at a 24-hour diner. I worked the graveyard shift from 10 at night until 6 in the morning. I served coffee to drunk college kids and tired truck drivers. I saved every single dollar. I lived in a tiny one-room apartment. The heater was broken. I had a mattress on the floor. And on a small cheap desk, I had my computer. Every day after my shift, I would sleep for 4 hours. Then I would get up. I would drink coffee, and I would code. I taught myself everything. I learned about app development. I learned about business models. I learned about encryption. I ate instant noodles. I did not buy new clothes. I did not go out. I just worked. My family, they never called, not once. Not for my 18th birthday. Not for my 21st. Not for Christmas. It was like I had never been born. I was a ghost. My brother Leo, I heard, got a big promotion. My parents were in the local paper for hosting a big charity ball. They looked so happy. Years passed. The loneliness was a physical ache. It was a cold stone in my stomach. The work was my only comfort. I was building something, an idea. An app I called Aura. It was a platform. A secure, simple, and kind platform. It was designed to help people who were like me. People who were alone. People who needed help, but did not know who to trust. It was an accessibility app that connected people with disabilities to a network of vetted volunteers and resources. It was an idea born from my own isolation. Then came my 29th birthday. This was the low point. This was the day I almost gave up. I was 12 years into my new life. 12 years since my father had disowned me. My app, Aura, was built. It was on my laptop. It worked. But I had no money to launch it. I had no investors. I had no support. I was just a tired woman in a tiny apartment who had spent her entire 20s chasing a ghost. I did not have to work at the diner that night. I bought myself a single cupcake. I sat at my little desk. I put one candle in it. I stared at the flame. I waited for my phone to ring. Just one person, a friend, an old coworker, anyone. It did not ring. The silence in my apartment was so loud, it was like a scream. My family, I knew, was probably at their country club. My brother was probably laughing. My mother was probably smiling. And I was here, in the dark. With one cupcake, I started to cry. I was not just sad. I was defeated. My brother was right. My father was right. I was a failure. I blew out the candle. I do not know why I did it. Maybe for the pain. I went to my laptop. I put in the old USB drive. I listened to the voicemail. My father's voice, from 15 years ago. You are not my daughter. You are on your own. I did not feel sad anymore. I just felt cold. A deep, clear, perfect cold. You are right, I whispered to the dark. I am on my own. I did not go to bed. I stayed up all night. I wrote a new business plan. I was not going to beg for investors. I was not going to wait for help. I was going to find a way. The next day I sold my car. It was an old beaten-up car. It gave me $3,000. I sold my mother's old locket, the only thing I had from my old life. It gave me $500. I took every penny from my savings. I had a total of $5,000. I did not buy advertising. I did not rent an office. I went to a community center, the one for people with disabilities, the one I had been volunteering at. I showed the app to the director. Her name was Benita. She was a kind older woman in a wheelchair. She looked at the app. She looked at me. And she started to cry. This is it, she said. This is what we have been praying for. That day, she introduced me to a small group of retired tech executives. They were her friends. They were not my father's friends. They were not polished, old money lawyers. They were creators. They were people who had built things from nothing, just like me. I did not give them a sales pitch. I just told them the truth. I told them about being alone. I told them about needing help. I told them about Aura. That night, I did not go home with $5,000. I went home with $500,000 in seed money. My kind stranger was not one person. It was a group of people who saw me, the real me. That was 3 years ago. The launch of Aura was not a launch. It was an explosion. It turned out there were millions of people who felt alone. Millions of people who needed a safe way to connect. The app was a revolution. It did not just make money. It changed lives. It gave people freedom. On my 32nd birthday, 3 years after I sat alone with a cupcake, I was not in my tiny apartment. I was in my new office, a huge glass-walled office overlooking the city. My company was now valued at $35 million, and Forbes magazine had just published a 4-page article. The title was The Guardian Angel of Tech, How Ava Caldwell Built a 35-Floor Empire from Nothing. It told my story. It did not mention my family. It just said I was self-made. That was the day the ghosts came back. My phone rang. It was a number I did not know. I answered. Ava, a voice said. A voice I had not heard in 15 years. It was my mother. Ava, darling. It is me. We saw the article. Oh, Ava, we are so proud of you. We always knew you would do it. I did not say anything. We want to see you, she said. She was crying, or pretending to cry. Your father and Leo? We miss you so much. Can we come? Can we see your new office? We want to celebrate your birthday. We have a cake. A cake! The word felt like a slap. I was quiet for a long time, but I was not the girl with the cupcake anymore. I was a CEO. Fine, I said. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock. I hung up. The next day I was in my main conference room. It was a giant room with a glass table and a huge monitor on the wall. I did not tell my team. I just told security to let them up. At 2 o'clock, the door opened, and in they walked. My father, Marcus, my mother, Eleanor, my brother, Leo. They were older, but they were the same. My father in his perfect, expensive suit. My mother in her pearls, my brother with his smug smile, and my mother, she was holding a large fancy cake. My father was holding a huge bouquet of flowers. "Ava," my mother said. She rushed forward to hug me. I did not move. I did not hug her back. It was like hugging a statue. She pulled away, her smile faltering. "This office," my father said. He was trying to look impressed. "It is quite something. You have done well, Ava, very well." "We are so proud," Leo said. He set a leather briefcase on the table. "Please," I said. I pointed to the chairs. "Sit." They sat down. They looked like they belonged. They looked like they were about to run a meeting. "We will have the cake later," my mother said. "But first, your father and Leo have a proposal." "A proposal?" I knew it. My father cleared his throat. He looked at me with his lawyer face. "Ava," he said, "your company, Aura, it is impressive. We have been following your growth. That 35 million, it is just the start. I see it hitting 50 million by next year." My company, Aura, was already valued at 45 million. He did not even know. "But you are an artist," he continued. "A creator. You do not understand the complex world of finance, of law, of legacy. You built this on the foundation we gave you, the education, the drive, the support. That word, it hung in the air. My firm," my brother Leo said, opening his briefcase, "is in a period of transition, and my father's firm is looking to expand into tech law. We have a proposal, a family partnership. We will help you. We will manage your assets. We will take Aura to the next level. We will handle the parts you are not smart enough to handle. All we ask is a 30% stake in the company. For our support." There it was. They did not come to say sorry. They did not come to celebrate my birthday. They came to take my company. They came to cut me up and sell me for parts, just like they always wanted to. I looked at them. My father so confident, my brother so greedy, my mother so weak. "Support," I said. My voice was very calm. "You are right. I did build this company on the support you gave me. I think you are right. We should talk about that support." I stood up. I walked to the head of the table. I took out my phone. "This is a state-of-the-art conference room," I said. "We can connect anything." I connected my phone to the big monitor, to the room's sound system. My father looked confused. "You mentioned support," I said. "I actually kept a record of your most important piece of support. The one that truly built this company. I have saved it for 15 years. My father's face changed. He did not understand, but he was starting to get scared. My mother's hand went to her pearls. "It is a voicemail," I said. "From 15 years ago. I am sure you remember it, Father." His face went white as a sheet of paper. "No," he whispered. "Oh yes," I said. I pressed the play button. The speakers in the room clicked on, and then my father's voice. Not his powerful lawyer voice, but the cold, hateful voice from my memory. It filled the entire silent room. "This is your father." My mother let out a small gasp. Leo's smug smile was gone. "Do not call this house again. You have made your choice. You are a profound disappointment and a waste of our resources. You are not my daughter. You are on your own. Do not ever come home." The voicemail ended. The silence that followed was so heavy it felt like I was at the bottom of the ocean. My father was not moving. He was staring at the table. His face was gray. My mother was openly sobbing, her hands over her mouth. Leo looked like he had been slapped. He was staring at his father in pure horror. I let the silence sit there for a full minute. I let them swim in it. Then I spoke. "That," I said, my voice as cold and clear as ice, "is the support you gave me. That is the foundation I built my company on. You told me I was on my own, and you were right. I was." I looked at my brother. 30% for what? For laughing at me? For calling me a failure? I looked at my mother. "A cake? You bring me a cake?" You stood by and watched him throw me away. You let me sit alone for 12 birthdays. You let me cry over a single cupcake. And you bring me a cake. I finally looked at my father. He could not look at me. You were a child," he stammered. I was trying to teach you. You taught me," I said. "You taught me how to survive. You taught me that family is not blood. It is a choice. And you chose to cut me out. Now I am choosing to cut you out. The proposal is rejected. The family partnership is denied." I walked to the door. I opened it. 2 of my security guards were standing outside. I had told them to be there. "You are not my family," I said. You are just a bad business deal. And I am not investing. Ava, please, my mother begged. She stood up. He is your father. I am your mother. No, I said. You are Marcus and Eleanor Caldwell. You are strangers. And you are trespassing in my office. Security, please escort these people out of my building. And make sure they never, ever get in again. My father finally stood up. He was a broken man. The power was gone. He looked old. He looked weak. He did not say a word. Leo grabbed his briefcase, his face full of rage and shame. My mother was sobbing. Security led them out. I stood in the conference room, alone. The cake they brought was still on the table. I picked it up. I walked over to the trash, and I dropped it in. I was not the girl with the cupcake, and I was not the girl who needed their support. I was free.